Disclaimer. This video, in spite of its subject matter, has not been marked as for kids. This video is intended for a general audience, which the FTC and COPPA do allow, but YouTube is not providing. As such, any videos with this disclaimer will be marked as not for kids until YouTube makes a general audience option available. Enjoy the video.
Hello, gathered friends! Yeah, I'm giving this series a special greeting. You like it? So, you're probably wanting a recap of what happened in the last episode, aren't you? Well, you're not getting it. You see, these comic reviews take more time and effort to produce than standard media, or even action figure reviews, which shocked me too, actually. So I don't think it's that much of a demand to ask you to watch them all, or just already know the canon separately, because exploring it on your own is what this series hopes to foster. However, I do have some notes on that last episode. Namely, an apology. One of the most annoying things I see in reviews of Bionicle media is an over-reliance on jokes to keep things interesting, often because they don't know enough about canon to analyze it properly, a point that I will expand upon when we reach the Mask of Light movie. However, I am knowledgeable about the canon, and thus have more than enough to analyze and properly recap than they do. But I still felt the need to joke more than analyze. Now, I don't discourage making a joke at the expense of something, since everything can be made fun of in some way. But when you are trying to showcase a piece of media in an attempt to spread awareness of it, it's probably best not to focus too hard on making a mockery of it. Now, I don't hate the analysis of canon that took place in that episode, but I will make a point from here onward to be more of a recap and showcase with this series. Not that jokes won't slip in every now and again. Another thing that I must note is that we're changing the source of our scans. The first episode used the versions found on Biomedia Project, which was basically presented warts and all in a PDF, which I then screenshot on my phone and used in the episode. This episode, though, we're switching to the scans from wallofhistory.com, who have digitized the books and stuff in pretty nice quality. In addition to looking nicer, they also seem to have fixed up some of the issues with the books. For example, remember last time when Liwa had a conversation with himself? Well, the Wall of History scans fixed that so the word bubbles went to the proper Toa. So if the books ever have something like that again and I miss it, that's why. Anyway, what other media took place around this time? Well, obviously we have the book Beware the Bohrok, which basically covers the same stuff we're about to find here, but is still worth a read. There is also the Bohrok Online animations, which cover more of the Matoran side of things, along with featuring a now decanonized moment where Huki and Maku almost kiss, despite love not being canon. However, I do protest. They were not about to kiss as lovers, but rather engage in a perfectly platonic makeout session. Me and Pigeon do it all the time. Remember, kids, it isn't gay as long as you say no homo. What do you mean you didn't say no homo? We begin as the Toa come out from Aguta's chamber, the ground shaking around them, possibly due to how fine Tahu is looking in that first panel. They're obviously kind of confused by an earthquake going on after they defeated, the ultimate evil, but then the Tamatoran villager comes out and keeps on whispering only one word. Bohrok. Obviously, with something like this looming over them, the Toa decide to speed off to Takoro to see what's up. When they get there though, they see a lot of Bohrok wrecking the place. Obviously, the Toa try to fight, but their attacks aren't really working that well. However, Bohatu notes that the Bohrok aren't actually attacking any of the Matoran. Heck, they just straight up ignore the Toa unless they get in the way. Tahu also observes that their strength is in numbers, and tells Liwa and Gali to combine their powers to create a storm that causes them to flee. The Toa are naturally wondering what the heck that was all about, and Taraka Vakama comes in to explain. We have known the legends of the Bohrok for centuries, and we prayed they were only that. Legends! But the Bohrok are real. All too real. It is said the Bohrok sleep an eternal sleep, waiting to hatch. Once awakened, the swarms are unstoppable. A force so powerful they can reduce mountains to rubble and turn life-giving rivers dry as the desert sands. Worse, these creatures do not work alone. Each Bohrok carries within it a Karana, their greatest strength, also their greatest weakness. Even the mightiest of Bohrok can be humbled if parted from their Karana. These then are the swarms of the Bohrok. 2 you have already encountered. Korok, with their icy blasts, and the Parok, who would turn the mountains to crumbling stone. There are also the treacherous Galak, masters of the flood tide, the fiery Tanakh, capable of melting through any surface, the powerful Nuvok, who lurk below, and most dangerous of all, the Levak, whose acid venom can dissolve even solid rock. Anyway, with that lengthy introduction out of the way, Vakama tells them that the only way to stop the Bohrok swarms is to collect the 8 breeds of Karana, which should reveal a secret of some sort. He also warns to avoid wearing a Karana, since putting one on basically makes you a part of the Bohrok swarm. He also reveals that there will be a time to reveal some stuff. Foreshadowing. For now, though, the Toa decide to split up to gather the Karana, along with checking on their villages since, massive swarm of Bohrok. And so the issue ends with Liwa swinging towards Likoro, only to discover Turaga Matau and some Matoran wearing Karana, alongside a ton of Bohrok. Issue 5 opens up with some Tanakh laying waste to Bokoro, saying how Matanui will be as it was in the before time, and that many Bohrok have been robbed of their Karana. 5 guesses as to why. We also see some Levak Va. The Bohrok Va are basically the guys who give the Bohrok their Karana, holding Tahu's mask while knowing that nothing exists on Matanui to interfere with their work. Nothing at all. Okay, quick continuity rant. I have no idea where this whole thing of Tahu losing his mask and getting a Karana put on his face is from. It's only mentioned very briefly in the books, and none of the animations document what actually went down in there. The closest thing I found beyond the Bohrok commercials was a bit in one of the wikis about him storming the Bohrok nest by himself, but spoiler alert, they don't find the nest until the next issue, and he agrees with Kopaka that that's a bad move to raid it at that point. So when did this happen? Alright, in the meantime, Gali and Pohatu set up a trap with the help of Kopaka and Nua to get some Tanakh Karana. And in Takoro, Tahu is rallying up the Matoran to build a wall to keep the Bohrok away. Yeah, Trump joke, blah blah blah, it's not that important. What is important though, is Kopaka coming in with some news. They will need their strength. We all will. These Karana are not objects of power like our Kanoi. They are alive. Alive and worse. Prepare yourself, my friend, to learn the darkest secret of all. Hyperbole much, Kopaka? I don't think this was even the darkest secret that Bionicle held when this issue came out. Also, really weird to hear Kopaka call Tahu my friend. Even disregarding that their rivalry has been put aside at the moment, but will come back later, I've never seen Kopaka as the type to use that sort of expression. Maybe brother since he's a Toa, but not my friend. Anyway, we cut back to Gali, who just barely manages to get past a massive rock that the Tanakh threw at her, and in the end has to flee with only 4 Karana while the rest follow, literally melting handholds into the rock. Hey, that sounds neat. I've got to try that at some point. Later on, after they've escaped, Gali and Pohatu sit down for a moment and ponder the nature of the Karana and their ability to control minds, mainly because they haven't seen Liwa for a few days. Cut to Liwa, who has a Karana on his face. The next issue opens with Tahu and Kopaka staring down a hole. Look, Tahu, this is the proof you demanded. No wonder Vakama knew so much about the Bohrok. They are not creatures from some other land. They come from within Matanui itself! So yeah, as described before, Tahu wants to go charging in, but Kopaka convinces him that they must gather all of the Karana first. Cut to Anua and Likoro, having just encountered a possessed Liwa. Anua, get away from here! Please! Flee before I am forced to harm you! I believe I have a better idea. Now, let's try this again. Leave while there's still time! I can feel the power building, even your strength won't. I know. The Karana controls your body, Liwa, but not your will. If it is so strong that it can make you harm a friend, then go ahead. I will not defend myself. But I know you, Liwa. I have fought beside you, and I know you are stronger than this parasite. You are a Toa! Prove yourself worthy of the name! My energies are yours, Toa Ver! Be free! Yes, Toa, my people, my friends. I will not harm a newer creature. I will not! You know, adding in an instance from last year that I didn't cover, that's the second time in a row that Liwa has been mind-controlled to fight Anua. Dude just has bad luck. Anyway, Anua gives Liwa back his original mask that he recovered from some Leevak Ba, which is how he knew that Liwa was in danger, and Liwa says that he knows why the Bohrok are there. In the meantime, though, Anua reveals that the Matoran have built machines called Boxors out of fallen Bohrok to help give them an edge in combat. The only problem with this explanation is them calling the Bohrok artificial in the same sentence that they call them biomechanical creations, when the Toa themselves are biomechanical, as are the Matoran and Turaga. That's why the series is literally titled Biological Chronicle, or in the case of the books around this time, Biological Chronicle Chronicles. Anyway, that aside, Liwa tells Anua that he could hear the voices of the Bohrok swarm while he was possessed by the Karana, and that if they don't act now, nothing will be left of Matanui. Cut back to Pohatu and Gali fleeing Tanak, who want those Karana that they stole back, just barely managing to escape thanks to their elemental powers. Later, the Toa gather in the tunnel to the Bohrok nest, and agree to raid it due to the danger that the Bohrok pose to the island. And due to some suspicious comments made by him, Tahu tells Anua to keep an eye on Liwa in case the swarm is still somehow influencing him. Pohatu also notes that the walls of the cave they're in are too smooth to have been made by a Matoran or Bohrok. So something fishy is going on here. Tahu goes down to investigate a nest of sleeping Bohrok before they awaken and cause the entryway to the nest to cave in, trapping them. Not that the other two are in much better of a situation, getting trapped in themselves, while Liwa senses the presence of some kind of power. Power armor, to be exact. More on that later. The Toa can't get the stone blocking them to budge as molten lava starts entering the cave, and the issue ends with our first look at Gadak and Kadak, the Bohrok Queens. We open up the next issue with the Toa still in the cave, and Tahu about to fall into a pit of Bohrok. Kopaka holds back the lava with his ice, but only delays the inevitable if Anua and Pohatu can't get the stone out of the way. However, Liwa puts together that if these two can't break it, it's because the stone isn't actually there. Stop believing in it, and it disappears. The lava is real though, so the Toa move forward. Just as they talk about not leaving Tahu behind, they notice the ground getting hotter. Everybody down, now! Yeah, Tahu used his fire sword to heat the air in the nest until the pressure blew it. And just as he arrives, the floor gives way, dropping them into the chamber below. Do you ever get the feeling that there's more to this island than we know about? Yes, it is not a comforting thought. I really like the mystery of pre-2009 Bionicle. You know just enough to follow along, but both you and the characters still have plenty of questions for a while to come. That's part of why I bring the story to you guys kind of blindly. Sure, I make the occasional reference to future stuff, but part of the fun of Bionicle is the build-up to some of these answers. This does lead to some contrivances, I'll admit, but hey, it's about the journey. Anyway, the Toa have found themselves in a chamber full of floor indentations that match the Karana that they've collected, and 6 tunnels reveal themselves in the wall, one for each Toa. Cautiously, the Toa go in. This island has suffered much at the hands of the Bohrok. Its rivers frozen, its mountains crumbled, its jungles reduced to ruin. But by all the power that is mine, I swear, Matanui shall be free! That's right, the Toa have exosuits, baby! Randomly, we cut to some Matoran with box swords fighting off some Leevok. It doesn't do much for the comic, but whatever. Cut back to the Toa, obviously having entered a chamber.
Why do you trespass here?
That voice. I hear it in my mind. Who is there? Show yourself!
You are an obstacle. You do not belong. You will be removed.
Beware, monster! This obstacle has a sting! Drive them to the center of the chamber! Surround them! Strike now, Toa, for your villages and your people! The blasts! They have no effect!
The flick fires! They do nothing!
Fools! By bringing us together, you increase our power. Now what to do will be as it was in the before time. All that does not belong will be removed, beginning with you.
But if we should fall, who shall save Matanui? We open the next issue with a very nice splash page of Tahu's mask reflecting Liwa's battle with Godok. And then we get into the story proper. Between issues, Liwa has gotten half frozen, Kopaka is buried, Gali is being smothered by heat, and Bohatu and Anua are fighting Kodok's delusions. Tahu attempts to fight the Bohrok Queens himself, but gets a blast of stone to the face for his troubles. Gali just barely manages to get Bohatu's attention to shake his delusion and save Tahu. In the midst of this, Tahu realizes something. All of you, shed your armor! It hinders our elemental powers, and they are our only hope!
You dare challenge the Bohrok swarms! You have no hope! The mission will proceed! You dare oppose your brothers! Therefore you must fall! Matanui will be cleansed!
Toa, surround them! We must combine our powers! But the danger, the safety of our people is worth any risk. If power is all these creatures understand, then we shall show them power!
You have won, but you cannot imagine what you have unleashed.
Looks like Kodok and Godok had one more surprise for us. This is not their doing. This comes from the very heart of Matanui. The floor! We're sinking! Prepare yourselves! It is over.
From great victories, mighty heroes arise. Meet Toa Nuva. Bionicle. The legend continues.